Hi guys, so the next fresh wort kit I'm going to be doing is called True North. It comes with a base 3 fresh wort, which is also called Golden. It comes with two dry hop additions, one called Goldings, one called Fuggles. It comes with a Brausol for clearing and a British pub ale yeast. You also get a hop sock. This kit's supposed to taste like Cooper's Canadian Blonde, which is another beer kit, which seems a little bit odd to create a fresh wort kit that tastes like a standard beer kit. But it's not a beer kit that I've done previously, so I'm interested to see how it turns out. Also, on the instructions on this kit, it's similar to the Dominator. It asks to pitch the yeast at one temperature and then raise the temperature, but because of what happened with the Dominator kit, and I don't think it ended up how it was supposed to end up, I'm going to just leave this fermenting at 18 degrees. I've got the wrap pill and wrap temperature control. I'm going to do the fermentation in the Firmzilla, so I'll be able to monitor the gravity readings throughout, and hopefully it goes okay. It's supposed to end up at a final ABV of 5.2, but we'll see how it goes. So I did some research online to find the optimum temperature to ferment this kit at, and the sweet spot seemed to be around 18-19 degrees, so that's what I set the wrap pill at, and the wrap temperature control 19 degrees throughout the whole fermentation. I also read that on this beer style, the esters that are produced are best kept in the beer, so to set the spunding valve at a lower psi for the first part of fermentation. So I set the spunding valve at only 3 psi until it got to 75% attenuation. Then I did increase it up to 12 psi so that the carbonation produced during the last phase of fermentation would be kept in the Firmzilla, so it can help naturally carbonate during the cold crash phase. So as you can see from the True North Canadian Blonde profile recorded on the wrap pill, it took a couple of days to actually get up to temperature because it was very cold in my area during the time of this fermentation. But once it did get up to temperature, the fermentation was pretty fast. It looks to have fermented in around 3 days, but then I did leave it for a further 5 days before adding the dry hops. So I dumped the trub, then I sanitised the dump section, added the dry hops in, and then I purged it with CO2 to get rid of all the oxygen. So now I'm going to let it have contact with the beer for the next 4 days. So after letting the hops have contact with the beer for 4 days, I then did a cold crash in the Firmzilla. So I did the Brausol and then I dropped the temperature down to 1 degree where I left it for 3 days. Then I did a closed transfer into the kegs and then left it for a couple of weeks, and now it's ready to serve. So I'll give it a try. Again, the process was relatively straightforward in the Firmzilla. Slightly more complicated than using the bucket fermenter, but it's nothing too complicated. So it's not completely clear. It's a dark orangey colour. You can see through it slightly, but it's not overly clear. Maybe I should have done the cold crash slightly longer. Maybe I'd do that if I did it again. Let's give it a smell. On the nose, there's not much. It's not got a big hop flavour, but then there wasn't a lot of hops that went into this kit. Give it a try. It's really well carbonated. I think that's the Firmzilla. So that's where you increase the pressure towards the end of fermentation to capture that natural carbonisation that's happened during the final stages. And then when you cold crash, that gets brought back into the beer. And that is lovely. It's very professional. But I'd say, taste-wise, it's not a huge hop bomb, but then it won't be with the amount of hops that have gone into it. I'd say it's quite a generic taste, maybe something along the lines of a Amstel. It's got a slight sweet flavour. It's got a very slight hop flavour. It's the kind of beer, I think, if you had friends round and you didn't want something that was too overly flavoursome, too overpowering, It's kind of a standard generic type beer that you get in the pub, really. Something along the lines of an Amstel. I wouldn't say I'm a huge fan. If I'm going to rate it, I'd probably rate it around a 5. It's something that I don't think I'd buy again. It's very similar to something that you get in a can, to be honest. So yeah, but it's okay. Yeah. Well, I hope you join us for the next one.